you have to remember that girls will generally do whatever they think will attract the interest of guys. And most of your pornography includes these pseudo-lesbian scenes, with girls doing things to each other. I won't even tell you what they call that because it makes me angry. So we'll just skip what they're calling it. And we'll say that it includes most of that. Now, young girls in the high schools and in the junior high schools and even younger often are imitating that kind of behavior. And once you imitate it long enough, it can become part of your life behavior as well. So heavy-duty classroom seduction of girls and boys into homosexual activity, girls particularly susceptible to wanting to do those things to attract the boys. The boys then cheer them on, and the same thing with the T-shirt sort of things and all that kind of stuff. And these girls all think they're being free. They think that they're being liberated. And, of course, they're not. They're being enslaved. Does that answer your question?
Yes. And I also have another question, too. Do you
Sure.
think this is part of the population control? Have you ever heard of population control?
Yes, that's a very good point. Yeah, well, the Rockefeller Foundation, as you know, long has been involved, as has Planned Parenthood, in population-controlled activities, shall we say. And so, I've heard that, and it makes sense to me. Homosexuality means no kids. And so the whole idea and this promiscuity and promotion of material goods, limiting your child population. So, and of course that goes along with abortion. So yes, I don't think there's any question that some of that's involved here. Where it starts and where it lets off, I can't say, but I certainly can say that population control is what happens when you have a large homosexual population.
Right.
Does that answer that?
Yes, thank you.
Sure.
That's all the questions
Thank
I have.
Get the book. If I'm talking to you on the phone, you go get the book.
Sexual Sabotage just came out. Sexual Sabotage. Lots of this information that we've discussed and a lot more detail is in the book. Sexual Sabotage just came out. Person who called in, 7894. 7894, did you have a question?
Okay, 7894 doesn't want to talk to me either. You're hurting my feelings, 7894. And I do urge people to get the book, but also to give copies to their loved ones, to people they feel. I mean, it's an objective book. It's not a book that's hysterical in any way. And so if you're concerned about turning it over, to people, it's well footnoted. It's a good scholarly piece of work, but unfortunately, it's really interesting because it's all about sex and drugs and rock and roll kind of thing, So there you are.
It's people's favorite subject matter there. Subject matters.
Well, it attracts high response mechanisms, yes.
818, did you have a follow-up question, 818?
Yes, I do. I noticed another news story where it was in Florida, and they were two homosexual males fighting for the right to adopt children I think they had been foster parents to. Do you think that adoption of children by homosexual adults will lead to the children being molested or becoming homosexual themselves, or that there's any kind of pedophilia connection there?
Well, I've testified in courts on that, and I've said exactly that you do not award children like you do dogs. I mean, they are not, experimental products, right? And you do not award them to homosexuals. You simply don't do that. And the American public knew that for years and years and years, but of course we've been manipulated by the judicial system. No, this is not something you do. You try to help the homosexuals themselves come to grips with why they have chosen to engage in this kind of activity. You try to help with, that's what used to be the case, and you certainly don't give them experimental children to see how that's going to work out. You try to find the most well-balanced couples, of course, that you possibly can, who will love and honor these children and bring them up in a normal household with a mother and a father. That is One is a boy, one is a woman, and one is a man, the old-fashioned way, which, as far as we can see, has been the only way to really rear reasonably content and happy kids.
And how would you counter the popular, I guess, contradictions that are out now where people are saying, there's people that are homosexual and they're perfectly functional and normal, and come on, they're born that way, they function in society.
That's why I write the book, and you read the book and you become knowledgeable so that when you're engaged in these debates, you can quote the data as it stands and bring some common sense to the arguments. Okay. But that's the reason that it's important for us to read and be knowledgeable. When I've been in the courtroom, I've won, and I have won because, I'm knowledgeable in the area, and I've done the research and read the homosexual material itself, a very important book, Men Who Beat the Men Who Love Them, by two homosexual males, all sorts of material out there. I read a great deal of homosexual literature because it's within the literature of the population itself that your answers will be found.
Thank you.
Sure. Get the book.
I will definitely go out and see if they have it at my bookstore.
Good. And, tell your libraries to buy it. Some of the libraries actually might even do that.
Okay.
Was that book Men Who Beat the Men That Love Them?
Yeah, Men Who Beat the Men Who Love Them.
Okay.
Yeah, and it is by two homosexual males. One is a psychologist, and the other one's a social worker. And the book deals with domestic violence within the homosexual movement. And when I say domestic violence, I don't mean monogamous homosexual marriages, because that's an oxymoron. You basically do not have such things. It certainly would probably occur in some rare situations, but this whole marriage business is based on a fraudulent belief system, and that is that homosexuals actually seek monogamous marriages, which is just not the case.
Wow. I feel like we have learned a ton. I guess if I can give one more in from I'm going back to one of the articles that you emailed me, The Naked Truth. On page 4, you wrote that people know full well that you will never shut down sex trafficking or child pornography unless you shut down adult pornography as well. Mm-hmm. I guess we've already talked about, it's a lot of money involved there. You can get a lot of resistance from people who are both in the business and people who are confused and or addicts who, they want their porn. Do you really believe if people did get together and ended pornography, that would have an incredible impact on child abuse, child pornography, and child sexual abuse?
Oh, absolutely, sure. And, why don't we do a moratorium? And let's just have all the pornographers shut down their systems and stop producing for about 2 years. And let's see what happens. I'm willing to do that. They've made enough profit. Why not? Why shouldn't the Playboy shut down for 2 years? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to see what happens. No, but, of course. Once a society condemns the material appropriately, and once men feel embarrassed again, by the way, I should say, men are still very embarrassed. You still don't go into the public with a Playboy magazine. Forget all the rest of it. People still do not display these things in the public sphere. And you have to ask yourself, why not? When you go in, wherever you go, you see people reading Time magazine, whatever magazine is out there. But you certainly don't see people reading pornographic materials, or even like quote unquote Playboy in a public place. And Playboy did some research themselves, actually, on a man walking around with a Playboy magazine, and people look at him like he's a pervert, because he's going to be a pervert if he's carrying that around. So, if you besmirch, that's where Playboy was the gateway drug. If you besmirch the material from its origin, yes, you will see a massive decrease in child sexual abuse, especially if you start arresting people and making it clear and doing so good, strong lawsuits so that you can raise the consciousness of the public and let them know how they get tricked into this, how they got manipulated and conned into destroying themselves and their society.
Wow. Again, I think I have learned a lot today. The book, Sexual Sabotage, How One Mad Scientist Unleashed a Plague of Corruption and Contagion on America. The website, www.drjudithreisman.com, REISMAN.com or .org.
Or .org, right.
Thoroughly enjoyed the program. I'm just, again, super grateful you were willing to spend a little bit of your Tuesday evening with us, and I hope it was a constructive investment of your time.
Well, you tell those people out there buy my book. I mean, outside of it being great to talk about these things that I've worked on for so many years, the bottom line is this is not entertainment, folks. And if I wanted to entertain, I could still be playing the guitar. And I could get paid very well for that, well, in the old days. And so I really need you to show that it made a difference by going out there, getting the book, and then getting copies for your friends, your family, your church. It's okay. There's nothing really bad in there that, can't be shown to your church. Not little kiddies, but teenagers is okay. All right?
Will do. Get the book, Sexual Sabotage, by Dr. Judith A. Reisman. Thank you so much, and we will definitely be in touch soon.
Thank you so much. You were really well read, I have to tell you.
I try to, if you're going to share your time with us, I at least try to make sure I do my homework.
Well, thanks so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you.